Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Now, just quickly before we get on with things, this is a bit earlier than usual. Usually I do the match previews the night before the game. The back pages I've completely bypassed this week. It's a bit different on the channel because it's the festive period, right? I apologise, I've been enjoying myself, things have been a bit different. We're going to get back to the regularly scheduled programming as soon as the new year's out the way. But I've decided today, let's just jump right into it. Let's get the match preview done. Let's talk about Celtic versus Dundee United on Wednesday night at Celtic Park. A game which is, of course, the last game before we take on Rangers at the weekend. We need a big result. We need to install confidence into the team. And we desperately need a good defensive performance. Despite a couple of clean sheets, that is still direly needed. Let's talk about it all after the intro. Before we do get into the video, if you guys want to check out the top line of the description and download the OneFootball app, the OneFootball app will give you everything you need to know over this busy football period. Of course, there's games left, right and centre. I feel like the Premier League never stops, the Scottish Premiership never stops. If you want to keep up, it's the best place to do it. Live scores, live news flying in, everything that you need all in the one place. Stats, figures, everything. Just go to the top line of the description. By doing so, you help me out, you help the sponsors out, and we'll have a very good time and a nice new year. Also, very quickly, may I add, we are so close to 23k, and if we could hit 23k by the end of the year, it would mean the world. To hit another landmark on the way to the Hogmanay would be amazing. I think we're about 60 subscribers away at this point, so please, if you are a Celtic fan, you're watching, you've not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you're a fan of any team, I was surprised the other day when I done my halfway point review. So many Rangers fans are like, oh, fair play to you, you know what you're talking about, you're fair, you're unbiased, blah blah. You know what I mean? But if you support anybody, and if you know any Celtic fans or anybody else who might enjoy the channel, share it out. Let's hit 23k. It would mean the world to. And next year, I'll try and be giving back to you guys at some point as well. So that would mean the world to me if you could do that. But enough of that. Let's get into the video finally. Right, so as I said, it's the last game before we take on Rangers at the weekend, in a game which will probably decide who wins the title this year. Let's not hide away from that, but we'll come to it when the game is coming up. It's a long road of recovery for Celtic. Yes, we have 3 games in hand, but we need to. There's no margin for error now. Between now and the end of the season, Celtic need to win every single game. That's a reality, and until Rangers start dropping points anyway, we need 3 points every single game, and that doesn't give an exception for Wednesday night. We need to go out there and we need to perform the way we have in the last couple of games. I don't think we've been perfect, but you know what I mean. We'll keep a clean sheet, get a few goals, get confidence going. We need that against Dundee United. And obviously Dundee United are a good team. I watched Rangers Dundee United a couple of weeks ago, and they made it hard for Rangers. They equalised in the game, made it 1-1. Rangers went on to win 2-1, but they kept the pressure on Rangers throughout the game, and defensively they were well set up. And we've already seen an example of that this season. We took on Dundee United earlier on. I think it was one of the first games we played, actually. Well, not one of the first. I think it was 5 or 6 games into the season. And we had to wait to the last minute to win. Albion Ayeti popped up with the winning goal in the 90th minute. And Dundee United have been very well set up this year. And I've already spoke so many times my opinions on Mickey Mellon and the Dundee United team. I think they're really solid. And I really like Mickey Mellon, a manager who I've followed over the last couple of years and what he's done. I knew he was going to be a good appointment for Dundee United. And right now they're looking like a team who will finish in the top half after just being promoted. That's remarkable. So they're not going to make life easy on Wednesday night for Celtic. It's going to be a difficult game, especially being at Celtic Park. Dundee United will set up more defensive than what they did at Tannadice, and what they did at Tannadice against Rangers too, because they know it's a more difficult place to come to. It's an away game. It's a game at Celtic Park. It's maybe the most difficult place to win in the country. You'll probably see the 2 lines of 5 playing in front of the Celtic team, and it'll just be murder to watch. And look, I imagine it'll be very similar to the last couple of games in the sense that we might not see a lot happen in the first 45 minutes of football, but we need to crack down on that. We need to get things done early. It was half time against Hamilton at the weekend there, and I was thinking to myself, this is going to be a repeat of what we've seen before. They're going to go up and score with 10 minutes to go or something, win the game 1-0, and then we'll be chanting for letting out. But no, we started the second half strong, and we had a far more electrifying performance in the second half. But we need that from the off. That's what we need. That's what Celtic need to do. And they need to have something that they can bounce off of going into the game on Saturday. And we need that confidence. We need that motivation. We need to know these players are going to keep scoring goals. Because ultimately, if we beat Rangers at the weekend, you know, it's going to come down to who scores more at this point, because defensively, we are hopeless. Yes, we've kept a couple of clean sheets, but we need to go and score, and we need to score early at Ibrox. And that sort of performance can bounce off the back of a performance like that against Dundee United. That's my opinion. I don't think everybody will agree with that. But I think if you go out Dundee United and you get goals early, say you score 2 goals in the first half and you go and finish it off in the second half, I think Celtic will be more eager, and I think they'll just be. I think they'll find life a lot easier to do it in that game against Rangers, to go out and score early on in the game. So I'd love to see us go and do it on Wednesday night. As difficult as Dundee United may set up for us, we need to go and break down the walls, and we need to go and score goals. Like the last couple of games, we'll come on to that just now. Celtic have started finding a little bit of mojo. We've seen clean sheets now. We've seen Turnbull and Sorrow just change the team completely. Griffiths and Edouard are now looking like they're getting back to some form of level, which is we're getting close to what we've perhaps seen a few months ago. Edouard was brilliant at the weekend. Everybody was raving about his performance, and quite rightly so, after quite a stale period. And yes, he's still not scored a goal, not playing the league, but if he connects with Griffiths in the way that allows one of the two to score goals, I really don't care. I don't care how many goals Edouard scores in open play, as long as the team is winning and the team's scoring goals and Edouard is contributing to those goals. That's what matters. His stats are scary. I passed one on Twitter today. I think he contributes to a goal every 93 minutes since signing for Celtic. That is madness for the amount of football he's played. People go on about Defoe's record and his goals per minute and stuff, which is honestly, yes, too brilliant as well. It's outstanding, especially for a player of his age. But when you consider the amount of minutes Edouard has played in a Celtic shirt, how he's been the key man to contribute to a goal every 93 minutes played, is unbelievable. So if he's doing that with Griffiths up front, I really don't care who scores a goal. But Griffiths now has scored in 3 games on the bounce. Keep this up, and we will score goals against Rangers. We will. Obviously, we'll come to that game in the video of its own, and we'll talk about how defensively I think that that's what could cost us the game. But at the end of the day, if we can just keep this up on Wednesday night, if we can keep Edouard and Griffiths' partnership working well, if you can have Turnbull playing delicious balls from in behind them, we won't struggle that much against Dundee United. And that's the first time I've said that in a long time, which is crazy. I still don't think it'll be easy, but if we get Turnbull, Griffiths and Edouard playing their best, we should breeze it. We should. The reality is we don't know what to expect from Celtic nowadays. Now on to the opposition. Dundee United are unbeaten in their last 3 Premiership games, and of course the game before that, their last loss was to Rangers, a game which they were quite unlucky in. But they're a decent side, as I've said. Shankland, can he continue on a little bit of form that he's picked up in the last couple of games? He's contributed to goals now after a long season without doing so. It feels like he's came into the league and not lived to the expectation a lot of people set for him. And it was never going to be easy. I think that, especially with the reputation he built for himself in the Championship, a lot of people expect him to come up and start doing it here, but it is a big jump. You're playing against much better defences. The style of football has had to change for Dundee United, and Shankland has struggled to adapt over the last couple of games. He's done well in doing so. So he could still cause problems for Celtic. But look, Dundee United are a team that we've seen over the past cause issues for us. And they certainly could tomorrow night. Let's not write them off. But as I've already said, I expect them to set up incredibly defensively. I expect 2 lines of 5 in front of us. We need to break that down, and we have to do it as soon into the game as possible. We need to stop this waiting on to the second half and relying on decisions going our way and mistakes from the opposition and stuff like that. We need to exploit it from the start. We need to get in behind them from the start, get balls over the top if we need to. We just need to make sure that we are settling games early and allowing the nerve to leave players. I think when the nerve is off that defence, they play a lot better. When we're 1 or 2 goals to the good, the defence play better. And that's a reality of it. And of course, that's a kind of happens all round football. It's not just Celtic. Of course, defence will be more confident, but right now that is important for Celtic's defence, especially because we still don't know what our best defence is, or best back line. So I expect Dundee United to make it difficult. They still could give us a go, and they've still got a threat of goals. They've got good players around the park. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out on Wednesday night. Now, the team selection is of course a tricky one. And my predictions for it, I feel like I can't predict what the team are going to play. I can say what I want us to play, but it really comes down to who they want to play on Saturday, how many minutes they feel like giving them, and how does Neil Lennon want to protect them head into that. Look, the thing for me is Sorrow and Turnbull must start against Rangers. That's a given. And I don't know if Neil Lennon is ready to take that plunge. Will he drop Scott Brown for the Old Firm? It's a big question. But does because of who he wants to play and who needs to play against Rangers, does he adjust it for the game tomorrow night? Because we are playing games thick and fast. You know, we've just came off the back of a game on Saturday. We're now playing on Wednesday. We've got another game on Saturday. Will Neil Lennon rest players? Will he put out other players, or will he play the team that he played on Saturday and then change it on Saturday coming against Rangers? There's so many questions that can come into it. I think Duffy and Scott Brown could still be doubts. So I think we will see Sorrow and Turnbull start, but I wouldn't take that as an indication as to who will start on Saturday. I don't think that is all said and done yet. I think Turnbull's a definite for Saturday, but Sorrow I still feel like could be dropped for Brown, which is a shame. But I wouldn't let tomorrow night suggest anything because of how fitness may go and how the next week may go for Celtic. As I said, I feel like predicting the team is futile at the minute, but as close to the team that played Hamilton is what I would play against Dundee United on Wednesday night. I'd play as close to that team as possible. Score prediction, I'm going to go for another clean sheet for Celtic. I'm going to say 2-0. I'm not going to get too over and beyond it all, but that will do me. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me think let me know how you think we'll do against Dundee United, and if it will spark us on to playing Rangers on Saturday. If you have enjoyed, make sure to hit like and subscribe. It's much appreciated, of course. Let's try and hit 23k by the end of the year. It would mean the world to me. And ladies and gentlemen, see you all next time.